Hey, Julesblessedvegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. So we are starting a 10,000 step challenge per day. You are not required to participate, and I will continue to share other topics in the interim. But I really just wanted to go for 10,000 steps for the 31 days of December, and today is December 1st in America. And so I want to talk about the benefits of walking 10,000 steps. If you go up into the search right here in Jules Bless Vegan and just put in 10,000, a couple other videos will come up because I did this challenge or certainly spoke about the benefits of walking 10,000 steps before, but this is definitely a different article and just more information on that. What's shocking about that video, if you pull it up, is how flippin' thin I was. Oh my God. My face is so thin. I've got all the lines in my neck and thing. At first I was like, don't tell him, don't tell him. And I was actually gonna, and I will in the description of this video, I'll go ahead and link one of those. But I kind of panicked, and then I thought, you know what, screw it. This is my truth. This is where I'm at. I know what happened. I know what I went through. I know how I wanted to just challenge food. I wanted to get over restrictive eating. I wanted to just get out of the game playing that I was doing as a person who comes from disordered eating. And you know what? I gained weight doing it. A lot of weight. Like, it's that simple. And the sad thing is, even when I was looking really slim, oh my goodness, because I was looking at a couple of those videos and it was just over a year ago, I had no idea. I was so caught up in the oh my goshes and the what ifs and I'll never be enough and everything. I had no freedom at that time. So praise God this time. And I never thought I'd be gaining 70, 80 pounds again in my journey, because I'd already gained and lost 100 pounds at least 6 times in my adult life. All of a sudden I found myself 70 pounds up over like the last year and a half. Insane. Just total denial, total insane. And so uncomfortable. Oh my goodness. Yes, I'm on my way down. I maxed out, I hit that ceiling, and I'm on my way down. But life will repeat lessons if we don't grow in the interim. And I get it. And I just tell God, thank you again, one, for waking me up before I was 300 and 330 and 340, like I certainly was years ago. God was graceful and woke me up, but just shocking. But the cool thing is, in addition to knowing what I've been through and where I'm at and where I'm going back to health, is that the only person I'm comparing myself to are Jules Bless Vegans of the past, which is awesome. I was like, I want to look like that chick. Wait, isn't that you? Praise God, yes. I'm so happy that I only want to look like the better me. How great is that? But yeah, God is merciful. My body's merciful. I'm easily on my way back. But wow, seeing some of those videos from like a year and a half ago or so, I was like, how did I not know that I was rocking it? Oh well, it's okay. I'll take it in stride. Thanks for the sidebar. All right, so yes, 10,000 steps. Why? I'm so glad you asked. This is from actually MSN.com. So interesting. It says, why 10,000 steps? Here's where this daily fitness goal comes from and whether it's worth following. Because is it? Like, how gimmicky is it? Is that just the trend, or is there science behind it? So it reads, at some point or another, you've probably been invited to participate in a steps challenge. Like right now on Jules Plus Vegan, with your colleagues, family, or a circle of friends. The idea is simple. Keep moving your feet until you hit 10,000 steps. For some people, this is an easy feat a goal. They hit without trying because they have a job or daily schedule that keeps them walking around. You know what's so interesting about that? I was reading a while back where it said, honestly, the difference between a heavy person and a thin person is just the number of steps. Like, a thin person never stops moving. And I thought about that. I have a very thin principal, but she's strong. And it's super appropriate for her body because she never stops moving. She is constantly running to the next meeting, going class to class, disciplining this, going, going, going. You know, she doesn't drop till the end of the day, and she easily hits 15,000 steps. And they say that that's the difference, that most people eat around 2,000 calories a day, whether they're healthy calories or not, it doesn't matter. That's about what people average as adults. So the difference is in the movement. And I totally get that. You know, I don't want to blame it on my traveling, but, you know, driving 100 miles a day and in the traffic and everything has taken away from some of the time that I would spend moving. So I have to be very intentional on what I'm going to do to make up that difference. And that's why I'm so grateful that you guys are with me on this 10,000 steps per day challenge. And if it's not for you, ain't no thing, man. Ain't no thing. Okay. So for many others, particularly those glued to their computers, and that's a hyperlink for work or play, it's a physical activity goal that requires more attention and intention. And I think that's the key word right there. So it says, while we generally know that remaining active is key to a long, healthy life, and that's a hyperlink, have you ever wondered why the magic daily number is 10,000 steps, where the particular marker comes from? And does it matter if you get slightly less or a little bit more? Here's what the experts and research have to say about it, and why this number is thought to be so crucial for physical and mental health in the short and long term. And yesterday I was indicating, because I had read a brief article on, does all movement matter, or does it just have to be very specific? Does it count as an activity or not? And it very much said all movement matters. And that was refreshing. And it also indicated, to get these steps, that it doesn't matter if you acquire them all at once by, treadmilling for an hour and a half, or if you do them throughout the day. Personally, I think throughout the day is best. To me, my favorite form of exercise is just in the natural requirement of my day. But I will certainly get in those extra steps, and, rebounding, it recognizes it as steps, so it's all good. Though what's kind of funny is at the end it may say I went up 3 floors of like, we don't even have stairs at home or work. I know, but the rebounding did it. Okay, the history of the 10,000 step rule. When the 1965 Olympic Games were held in Tokyo, Japan, a professor named Yoshiro Hotano became interested in figuring out how the most impactful methods for fighting heart disease and obesity. During his research, he wanted to find a way to calculate the number of calories burned while exercising. Hotano theorized that taking 10,000 steps a day was the equivalent of about 5 miles and would result in a 20% increase in calories burned for the average person, explains Lauren Chennai, the co-founder of CrossFit and the founder of Manifest, which is a hyperlink. Hotano then created the Monpo Kai, which was a pedometer-like device to encourage people to get on their feet during the Olympic season, when health and fitness were top of mind for many, and that's straight up. The name itself utilized the Japanese character for 10,000, which resembles a human in motion. Janai Sis, I don't know why it has a period right there. I might be short for that. The popularity of the concept and pedometer continues to this day in Japan. It has now spread to the U.S. and other countries, becoming the health standard recommended by the World Health Organization, American Heart Association, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. To say it was an effective marketing campaign is an understatement, considering an idea born in the 1960s has remained relevant for decades. That's straight up. Yes, let's continue reading, shall we? All right, is 10,000 steps really the magic number to hit for optimal health? Yes, it is. Considering that the 10,000 step rule originated from a marketing campaign in the 60s, albeit based on scientific data, asking what the current professional recommendation is for daily steps is a valid question. The truth is, Everyone's activity needs are different and should be determined by a plethora of factors. Your target will change according to your fitness goals. She continues, if you're trying to get fit or lose weight, then chances are your step target will be much higher than if you're simply trying to maintain a healthy level of activity. Dr. Saran says that on average, inactive people will reach about 5,000 steps a day. Active people achieve somewhere between 75 and 10,000, and very active people easily clear 12,500 steps per day. When I'm super busy, 12.5 is my norm, no doubt. But depending on my mindset and what's going on, it can be very hard for me to hit 10. How to set your unique step goal. If you want to determine your personal movement goals, Janai says to start with where you are right now by tracking how many steps you naturally achieve on a typical day. In other words, do an audit of your usual current number of steps. You can do this with a wearable fitness tracker or on a smartphone, which often has a built-in pedometer. Once you establish your baseline, starting point, the next part is to be patient with yourself and create a realistic timeline for achieving your daily steps goal. So we had just done the arms challenge, and it was astounding because I hadn't exercised in a while and it increased so rapidly. It was a huge challenge, and I understood that many people couldn't have done it, and they certainly couldn't have kept up with the increase. Getting to 150 was very scary. Like, wow, I really had to break it into parts. Well, same thing here. I don't know how much you walk a day. Like I said, on any given day, 75 is my norm. Pushing it to 10,000 is fine. Will I work my way to 12.5? I actually will, and I've been there in the past. So you really have to decide for you. I saw a very gentle one, which indicated you should try for 4,500, then you should try for 75, then you should try for 10, something like that. So that even though we're just starting on day one, by the end of the month, maybe you'll be to 10. You've got to be fair to yourself. I should be there already, and I'm game to get in there, today. So it says, it is also essential to recognize that not all activities include literal steps, like swimming, dusting, yoga, playing cornhole in the backyard. All of those count as activity, of course. But the term steps in the context of Hitano's rule does also encompass those activities. And like I was saying, the rebounder absolutely will count steps. To help, there are handy conversion charts, and you can look up how many laps of swimming equals how many steps. You can use to translate non-step movements into steps that do count towards making that 10,000 mark, or whatever step your goal that you have for yourself. For example, gardening, weight training, using a hand bike are all healthy movement-based activities, and Janai says to make sure that you take credit for them, and I absolutely agree. Last but not least, listen to your body, and when in doubt, speak with your doctor about how much you should be moving based on your personal history. You don't want to push yourself and then not be able to be active at all. I mean, yes, I was reading this thing where it was recommended that people sprint, maybe just 10 seconds at a time, to really get their body moving. It was a very interesting article, but part of the problem was people went for broke because the first sprint was so easy. Might as well do second, third, fourth. They were waking up absolutely unable to move, not even a single muscle. They were dead to the world the next morning. Such a mistake. So yeah, please be patient with yourself. This is just for fun. But for those of us who can, do it, and for those who want to, work your way up. Okay, last but not least, listen to your body. When in doubt, speak with your doctor about how much you should be moving based on your personal history. You don't want to push yourself and then not be able to be active at all. Taking on too much too soon can leave you sore, overly tired, and even hurt, Janai adds. It's okay to back off some days as needed in order to allow your body to adjust to the new levels of movement. And that's what I was saying. If you'd like to take every Sunday off and just let your body rest, that'd be amazing. If you have a different day of the week, pick a different day, but ideally pick the same day, for each week. So that's completely up to you. But sure, the body does like to rest, the muscles like to recover, all of those things. It can be surprising how much stronger you feel or how much your endurance improves after a day of rest here and there. That is straight up. Okay, if you really want to get your steps in, walk, walk, and keep walking. For avid exercisers, walking may feel lazy or not like a real workout, but in reality, it's one of the best ways to keep yourself limber by increasing your daily number of steps. There's so many health benefits to this type of exercise and so many ways to sneak short and long walks into your day. Try parking farther from the front of the grocery store than usual. March in place between Zoom meetings at home. Get off the subway a stop earlier and walk the extra leg home. Choose the stairs over the escalator or take your dog on a slightly longer stroll each day. And don't be fooled. Brisk walking meets the official recommendations for exercise, explains Timothy Lyman, a certified personal trainer. While the standard recommendations for light to moderate intensity exercise is 150 minutes each week, doing 300 minutes of brisk walking each week will have similar results. While that may seem like an unfathomable number to hit weekly, if you actually break it down, it's really just 45 minutes of walking a day. Where does following these walking duration guidelines land in terms of steps? In a great spot, as it turns out. An average walking pace is between 14 to 20 minutes per mile, based on the individual, and there are roughly 2,000 steps in a mile. So we can see that a person who has a brisk walking pace of 15 minutes per mile will cover 3 miles in their 45-minute walking session, which translates loosely to 6,000 steps. Plus, when you're intentional with your steps, and that's a hyperlink, it gives you a sense of purpose, a boost of confidence, and a way to fight stress. It gives us a reason to get outside, to get fresh air, and to have some time to ourselves. Stress is a killer, and one of the best ways to de-stress is to go for a nice walk and get away from the screens. Bottom line, keep walking and tracking your progress toward an active, always moving lifestyle. Keep that 10,000 steps goal in mind as a general health target to work toward a reasonable barometer for checking in with yourself to make sure that you're being as active as your brain and body needs you to be each day. But don't be too hard on yourself or too rigid about hitting it. There will be many days when you surpass it completely. You moved houses, you took a long walk at IKEA, Costco, and other days where you take a few steps less than 10,000. Your back-to-back meetings scheduled and allow for breaks. That's life. And it's all about progress, not perfection. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, people, let's do this thing, right? I'm on it. Totally on it. But I like the grace of this article because I don't want to beat myself up if I don't hit that 10,000 on one day. And, I may exceed the next day. So last time I just went ahead and divided how many steps by the month, and I was always around 10. Whether it was 8, 1, 12, 1, 10, 1, I always hit for 10. But if I fell short over the 30-day, it seemed to work out. So yeah, and we already agreed that we might take a day off, which is fantastic. All right, let me see if I missed anything important. I say no. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be hanging out with Santa Claus. And in case you don't know, I'm married to Santa Claus. And Santa Claus is coming to my school. And it's going to be fabulous for the children. And I did not tell anyone that I'm married to Santa Claus because I want to keep the magic. So I will get back to you, friends. But if you don't see me tomorrow night, I'm hanging with Santa Claus. Like if you like, join us if you haven't. Subscribe. Let me know in the comments below how I may support you. And until we talk again, best of all, walking is free. Most people can do it. And therefore, we're blessed.